Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Aspiring Entrepreneur. I'm your host Hamza Chowdhury, and welcome to today's daily recap. It is Monday, April 26, 2021. We'll be covering the same stocks that we covered in last week's daily recap, which this week it's Appl, Tesla, Palantir, Spce, which is Virgin Galactic, FuelCell, Plug, and I do have a couple other stocks that I traded today, which is Churchill, CCIV, and of course Ocugen, which I did cover on Saturday. I did create a special video for those of you guys who got a chance to watch it. I definitely encourage you guys to watch it if you do trade momentum stocks or small cap stocks, just to get a kind of better idea, sense of what you can do to prepare yourself. And I provide two tools that I suggest. Once again, I actually do apologize for my voice today. I'm a Golden State Warriors season ticket holder, and they just reopened the arena yesterday. I screamed a little bit, not too loud, but apparently it was enough to lose my voice. So I should hopefully have it back by tomorrow. But hopefully you guys won't have too hard time of trying to hear me. But I will try to speak as close to the mic as I can. And so just kind of starting off with the overall market, guys, last week, we talked about in our previous Sunday video that we hit an all-time high in the market around 417. And then, we felt the heaviness, and we said that we could find support at the 20-day. And then, the market went back and retested those highs. Okay. And so it's very common. You can see when there's some type of retracement, in several instances that the market comes back and retest that. And today we essentially had a retest of that high, and we went a tick higher, and then there was this massive market flush right when that happened. I'm sure if you were trading towards the last hour, you probably saw that as well, and that's what that was. It was right when we retested the highs. Okay, and so you can see this big red candle here on the 15. Okay, so we have the top here at 418, and then you can see this massive drop. Okay, and so again, guys, same thesis is, we're looking for support and bounces. If we're looking to create new long positions, you definitely never want to start a long position, in my opinion, when you're trading at all-time highs. You want to wait for obviously good pullbacks, healthy pullbacks, to either add to a long position or to start a new position. Once again, also, guys, this is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial broker or advisor. I just share with you what I'm personally doing, so definitely trade with your own risk. And of course, guys, as always, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to this channel. We're a 100% free content channel. Everything we do on this channel is absolutely free, and we depend on your support to help grow our channel. So starting off with Appl, guys, it's been a really strong stock. I'm also going to bring it up on my daily here. We had this real clear top at 135 on Appl, and we started that retracement in the S&P a few days ago, and now you can see we retested it. And keep in mind, guys, Appl does have earnings coming up here shortly in a few days. I believe it is coming up this week right here on the 28th, and so it's in a couple days. And so expect that, again, if you have this clear top at Appl, it has been beaten down. It has been trading in the zone for quite a while, for the last 6 months. But at the same time, again, if you've ran this from the teens, like I mentioned, pay yourself. I know some of you guys on the channel mentioned if you should wait for that flush. You guys can see that the 50-day is going to be an area of support, an area of interest. And so again, I'm still going to stay consistent in what I believe in my personal plan, which is the 127.50, which is where we broke out really to get this move. There's actually a little gap fill also as well on this. So I think the 127.50 would still be my plan, and it just happens that the 50 days flattening out and starting to come upward. So to me, it would be a perfect area for a dip buy into Appl, leading after earnings or leading into earnings, depending on how the earnings come out. And so we should expect some volatility there. Okay, Tesla, it just came out with earnings. I wanted to make sure I recorded this video to see how the earnings came out. I actually sold the covered call up here in the 800. So of course, if it goes up, great. Potentially get my shares called. If not, not bad deal, because I still get to keep premium. And so you can see it was actually quite choppy. I'm actually going to pull it out on my minute chart here. The Tesla, as soon as the earnings came out, there was a lot of good news for this, guys, and we'll go over it briefly. But you can see that it was just super choppy, and so we ended up flushing down to like the high 720s, and then we got as high as 745, and now we're sort of just fading off and sort of consolidating. And so my main risk, obviously, for Tesla would always be the 50-day, which currently sits at over here closer to our 695 area, right? Which we've been talking about several times is what the strongest support, the strongest resistance, the strongest support now. And so it's been resistance, and now it's been strong support for us where we bounced off of here. And so 695 was kind of my downside risk for earnings. And right now we're at 724. And so if we continue to downside, or if we trade tomorrow lower, that's where I would expect the bounce is right around this 50-day, which just happens to line up right around 695. And so that's a really good area for, again, for interest. If you're not in Tesla, if you sold your shares maybe leading to earnings today, or you're holding onto a portion, look for that dip buy. Okay. And so, the earnings themselves, I thought were pretty good. A lot of exciting announcements. Let me see if I can pull some stuff out here. Basically, Tesla expects to achieve 50% average annual growth each year in vehicle with deliveries, and so it's expecting to constantly grow with more deliveries. Its revenue did beat Wall Street. It was a little over $10 billion. It did beat the Wall Street estimates, and then also both the top and bottom line in Q1, it just absolutely is destroying. And it's saying that the semis are actually going to be starting delivered this year, which is really exciting because that's a whole new line, guys. That's a commercial line that we haven't even seen. Everything so far has been retail. It's been for us. Now imagine all of a sudden they open up a commercial line with UPS, all of these big companies, right? They're going to be buying their trucks. And so that's exciting news. And then of course they have, they've obviously had their Bitcoin investment, and they have all these other investments, and all their Shanghai and Gigafactories in Texas are all going to be operational this year. And so they're just killing it, guys. So I think depending on how we trade tomorrow, even if we bounce off 695, guys, I think that the trajectory is really clear. It's upwards. It's upwards. It doesn't matter what chart you look at. It's clear it's upwards. And so again, I would expect potentially downside risks. I would cut any trade if I was long and I was profitable at 695. But again, it just looks super solid for stock long term. Obviously, we saw a strong bounce here in the mid fives, and we've been clearly uptrending since. Okay, and so that's what I expect. And we said our short-term price target was 775. We hit that back here, guys, on the channel. And so congratulations for you guys who follow the channel, follow our trades. Palantir, it's been a strong stock too. Again, sort of seeing the setup, you knew that this was bouncing as off the 50-day on resistance, and it did that just last week on the 14th. And now I was kind of expecting that as well today. And so you can see clearly the 50-day will act as resistance until we can get some volume. And you can see it's really been sort of slow. I mean, I was really surprised. Most of the day, Palantir traded with a 50-cent spread from a high and a low. And so for the most of the day, it was 23.46 and then 23.96. And then towards the end, we kind of broke out. And so it's been green, whether the market's been red or not. So, it's been beaten down a lot. And, same thing, guys, play right here on our channel. And I mentioned it last week. I'm on the record. 3150 is my price target short term for Palantir. Okay. Spce, Virgin Galactic, great trade, guys. We mentioned there were a lot of these plays that were setting up under the 200-day. Clearly, we found a double bottom at $20. And the same play is short-term price target I mentioned would be $27, $26 for the stock. And it'll be right here under the 200-day. But you can see now we're starting to get positive momentum. And, we're starting to really, make some moves up to the upside. And so, again, what we're looking for is sort of a breakout here above this $24 level. And then, again, we can gap fill here at 26. Okay, so short-term 26, but I'm still thinking there's a lot of room to move, especially considering that the 50-day is still up in the 30s. And so again, it was just beaten down because of Richard Branson and Kathy, selling shares, but it's not a big deal, guys. Pick them up at a discount and hold on for the ride. FuelCell, these are some of the stocks that we may cover potentially tomorrow. But we're going to wind them down. We mentioned back here that this is another 200-day bounce off the play, so this is the area of interest for you if you're looking to create a long position. And so I mentioned that look, you had a low of $8, and look right here, our price target short term was $11, and we're at 10.75. And so we're right near our price target. So we most likely will be looking at the 20-day as a resistance for the stock. And so that'd be right here in this level here at $11. And so I expect that to happen within the next couple of days. And it was just a solid buy, guys, really good push. And keep in mind, guys, if you got this at 8 and it's at, $10, guys, that's like a 20+% return in a matter of 3 to 4 days. So that's an awesome trade. So hopefully you guys kind of get this in your arsenal of these sort of longer term plays when the stock is completely bearish. And then obviously the 200-day is obviously a good area of support. Same thing with Plug. It's similar to Spce. It traded under the 200-day, and we've had a bounce. Our short-term price target as well on this channel was $30, and you can see we're right under there right now. We hit a high of $29.56. So same idea, guys. FuelCell and Plug are probably stocks that I won't be covering. I haven't traded them personally, but I mentioned to you my price target again will be the resistance here at the 20-day around $30, and it looks like we're getting there pretty close. And now we actually closed above the 200-day. Okay, so this will be the next area of support, area of resistance, excuse me, of around $30. Okay, so hopefully you guys got that. This again, same idea, guys. The low here was $24. In a matter of a few days, you have yourself a 25% winner. AI, guys, you know, we've called it. It's been on the record. You know, we're ready for a breakout. We've said that there's been a tight consolidation on AI. Let me go ahead and switch back here to my day trading chart so you guys can see the details here. So clearly we said that, you know, over here that, and, you know, 70, by the way, has given it some issues, and we'll talk about that briefly. But, you know, clearly this thing has just been beaten down, and it's just been in this tight Bollinger Band. Okay, it's been in this tight channel, and you can see I mentioned to you guys that these red dots indicate a period of market consolidation, where essentially the Bollinger Band trades inside the Keltner channel, and it follows, basically it pops one of these red dots to kind of indicate that there's basically a move in either direction, a breakdown or a break up. And basically you can see the stock's been beaten down, and so we mentioned that at the minimum we expected a 50-day, and the short-term price target for this was around $82. And so guys, it's strong. It looks amazing on low volume. It's doing what it needs to do, and so I expect the same thing as we've had this clear top here, this channel. You know, 60, we've defended $60 several days, and then 72 has been a top. The nice thing about today specifically is, guess what? We closed right above 72. And so let's see what we can get tomorrow, and let's see if we can get 82 potentially this week. The stock can move 5 to 6 points in a day. Two stocks I do want to announce. You know, CCIV had news today that potentially they might be partnering with Appl. I thought it was kind of interesting. I know Lucid really well. I know people that work for Lucid. I know the Lucid store here in San Jose. And it's just kind of interesting that a car company that hasn't actually produced a car, sold a car, doesn't make any revenues, has pre-orders, is already partnering with Appl when it doesn't even have the production capability. So if Appl says, hey, Lucid, I need you to make 1 million cars, what's CCIV going to do? They're going to abandon the Lucid model. And so to me, it was a rumor. And obviously, what do? We buy the rumor, we sell the news. And so this stock was strong. And then what we looked for was basically areas that was having difficulty. So clearly the top here at $24. So there were some shorts that I did. I was all short in the stock today. Didn't do any longs. But then you can see that it had a good base here. Okay, and so when you have a triple bottom here, there's clearly strong support. This is where the buyers are stepping in. And so you can see that this channel here is where you trap the shorts around 2270. And so once you break that level, guys, that's where I would cut it. If you are long and you see a breakdown of that level, then there's a good chance the stock can tank. And then of course you can see this upper level. Now keep in mind, guys, this stock was a $60 stock before that news came out, and so it's just been beaten down. Same idea. And so you could argue that you could take it potentially up to the 50-day, but considering it's still in a period of consolidation on the channel with the Bollinger Band, again, I can see it possibly getting to 25. But again, I'm really bearish on this stock. I just don't think any stock that has revenues, doesn't have proof it has potentially proof of concept. I think it's just too early to get in the stock, and it's just not worth it. Okay. And then Ocgn did that video on Saturday, guys. I encourage you again, if you haven't had a chance, check out that video. I discussed the price action on Friday and what you can do, and 2 tools I personally use to prepare myself for these momentum stocks. And same idea, guys. I mentioned to you on the Saturday video that I'd look for stuff here at the 1220 range, and that's exactly what happened. And so we ended up gapping up. We ended up holding some levels, and then we finally got that push and that stuff at the 1220. We ended up getting up as high as 1240, and then later in the afternoon. And so these are stocks that, again, you can scalp play 30-40 cents. And so in this candle, for example, the high is 1240, the low is 1166. And then we had another push and a fail. And so when it has issues clearly at this level of 1220 to 1240, that's when you can start to fade. And I mentioned to you, if you were shorting and you wanted to know where to cut it right here at $12.75 to $13, depending on your risk plan. And so again, same idea, guys. We're holding the key level around right north of 11, but you can also see that we're having trouble here right over 12. And so it's just on a tight range. And so same thing, guys. It's a junk stock, makes no money. I know that there's some people I probably offended who are long the stock, guys, but it's losing $30 million a year. and that's why it needed to raise funds. You could say the same thing about INO and a ton of other stocks. And so until it has a good plan, until it's profitable, guys, I personally just wouldn't get involved. But again, it's great day trade, great momentum play. As always, guys, I'm here to help. I'm here to be a resource. I'm not here to put anybody down. And so if you believe in the stock, as always, post below. But again, we're here looking for momentum plays, looking for good plays, day trades. And so I'm not long the stock at all. And so I don't really care where it goes. I just look and play the momentum. Okay. With that said, guys, as always, I appreciate you. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, a wonderful green week to start the week. And so with that said, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.